Welcome everybody to the first episode of 2021 of Into the Stratusphere. I'm your girl, Cindy G here. Oh my God, episode 21, we're in the new year, the year 21. Well, 2021 per se, because hey, we're moving forward to a new year and, we're still in the middle of a pandemic, but hey, it's all good. Before I get everything started, I just wanted to apologize to you guys for my absence. I know that, first of all, apologize that the New Japan recap was like a couple days delayed because there has been a technical issue with the video. And plus, kind of like a little bit of a miscommunication going on. Don't know the updates and stuff, but hey, hope you guys understand it. And number two, there has been something going on in my family, which y'all know what's going on. And to update, my mom is doing okay. She's getting her MRI tested this Friday. But I want to say thank you so much for your prayers, your support, and all your love. Really appreciate a lot from myself and from my family as well too. And yeah, you guys, so Into the Stratosphere, we're back. However, after this recap, I'm actually going to be making a brief announcement regarding what is going to be the situation with Into the Stratosphere. But we're going to save that because right now we're doing the recap for New Japan Pro Wrestling Wrestle Kingdom 15 that just took place over 24 hours ago. Don't know when it's going to be uploaded. Hopefully there's no technical issue on the video portion of it. So yeah. Anyway, you guys, so with that being said, I am not alone here. So I have, of course, my tag team partner from NoDQ.com, of course. He is the Simple Man. He is the lifelong fan of wrestling. Say hello to Noah Foster. Hey, Noah, Happy New Year. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. Happy New Year to you and your entire family. Glad to hear everything is going well with your mother. And what an incredible start to 2021. Oofa.
I know, right? And especially the first pay-per-view of 2021. Like, geez. But let's cut to the jibber jabbery. Let's go ahead and kick things off with the New Japan Pro Wrestling Wrestle Kingdom 15 that took place at the Tokyo Dome. Oh my God, it's on a weekday. So the only thing I'm having an issue about is I understand that we're still in a pandemic going on. And so they decided to move the biggest show to kick off 2021 into a weekdays. And I understand that it's pretty conflicted for those people that they have to go to work the next day. And so I know that I was deciding should I just recorded right after show. I even asked Philip, he said he recorded after show, but then after watching night 2, I was starting to get sleepy a bit. So that's why I have to wait at least a couple hours later. We're recording it on a Tuesday night. So that way you guys can catch up with Wrestle Kingdom. I know that it's in the weekdays. That's where everybody is going back to work from their holiday break and whatnot. So hope y'all can understand where we're coming from. I know Philip and Brandon may be going to be saying their first piece. Of course, they're let's just say the founding fathers of the Bulletcast. Let's just say that. All right, you guys. Yes. All right. And so, Noah, what's your overall thoughts with Wrestle Kingdom being in the weekdays, or?
Well, there's not much you can do with Father Time when it comes to the placement of the day that no matter what, Wrestle Kingdom will always come on to play. And that is January 4th. We've seen it now across all the days. So again, it was just an odd time. But again, they were not going to move it because that is their foundation day where they start everything. 4th and the 5th. And now the 6th. What started off just being 2 days in a row has now become 3 days in a row. They stuck to their roots and guns. And I bet it was an awkward time for many people. But hey, it still was worthwhile and it still held up to the same quality. Regardless, whenever January 4th falls, any day of the week, I don't miss Wrestle Kingdom ever. And I watch it live. And thankfully, my job allowed me to take all 3 days of this entire fun start to NJPW off. So it honestly didn't affect me. It's all normal to me. The only thing that changes is how much I sleep during the day. Because after day 2, I went to bed literally and didn't wake up till the afternoon.
Indeed. Yeah. So I'm glad that my job just allowed me to have some 3 days off to rest up and all all that. Even I'm trying to get used to the sleep schedule, which is one other flaws for it too. Anyway, but then let's go ahead and kick things off with night one of Wrestle Kingdom 15. So the opening of the match you have is the New Japan 22-man Rambo for the Provisional King of Pro Wrestling 2021 trophy. So, and the winner has to be the final four that can able to compete on night 2 of Wrestle Kingdom. So your English commentary would be is Kevin Kelly and Chris Charlton, and it's supposed to be Rocky Romero, but he's out of nowhere. So anyway, so the 22-man Rambo is kind of like your typical Raw Rumble, except you have is not only we can go over the top rope, but also pinfalls, submission, and a DQ, which is pretty weird. So this is kind of like pretty intriguing, but all I can say is this is kind of like, pretty unique for it. And me, I like something that is pretty unique when it comes to certain matches itself. And I think this is for what New Japan has done it for the past couple years, and they brought it back, of course. So your following participant you have is Chase Owens, Tomohiro Ishii, Minoru Suzuki, Yuji Nagata, which props to him for wearing the face mask. You got to stay protected because we're still in the pandemic.
Yep.
Toa Henare, Hiroki Goto, Yujiro Takahashi, Yoshihashi, Toke Makanabe, Tomoke Homa, Hiroyoshi Tenzan. Surprise appearance, Rocky Romero making his return in Japan. Loki, Sho, Bushi making his surprise appearance. Tiger Mask, Bad Luck Fale, Gabriel Kidd, Yuya Uemura, Yota Tsuji, and last but not least, your favorite Noah, Toru Yano.
Freaking Yano! Stop!
So here are the participants. And overall, it was a pretty much your typical like Rambo match, of course, like pretty much a couple high spot. You have his Fale and Chase Owens still working together, even though they're kind of like debating like whether or not like they could go up against together. But I know they were like going up against Suzuki and Ishii. Of course, memorable moment with, of course, Makabe did eliminate both Goto and Yoshihashi. Like, Jesus, especially for a guy his age. And especially you saw like a brief reunion between Rocky Romero and Sho, of course, Roppongi 3K, which I kind of marked out a little bit. So all in all, it was a pretty much kind of like a unique match, a little bit kind of like a cluster effort for it. And at the end, the final four after, of course, Yujiro got eliminated, and then Yano, he's just stand there, didn't do anything. Of course, your final four was Yano, Chase Owens, Bad Luck Fale, and Bushi. So a pretty unique cluster effort of a match. Noah, your thoughts?
Again, I miss this tradition. Nothing against the 6-man overweight title gauntlet, but I've missed this tradition. This was a lot of fun to watch. Some unique moments. Chase Owens being number one, but being stuck with two of the most dangerous men in the company, Tomohiro Ishii and Minoru Suzuki, who are literally ignoring him. And then he tries to come into play with his own sort of offense, and they're just tossed to the side for it. I thought that was pretty fun. I was super annoyed when Minoru Suzuki got eliminated as Yuji Nagata renewed hostilities with him on the apron by one Toa Henare. Big two-time eliminations for him. And then later on down the line, Ishii being the last representative of the title holders gets eliminated too. That really irked me. But there was some fun exchanges. Interesting how Bushi, I think, has someone against the Young Lions, prevented them from getting into the ring, it seems, until it was like 2-1 assault. Then all three Young Lions tried to attack Bad Luck Fale. I thought that was pretty funny. Charlton trying to bring Gino Gambino into play, being a Gino Gambino impersonator. I think he still said the wrong quote. He should have said, "Salute the man, Kevin. He's a war hero. He won the war in New Japan." But regardless, between commentary, the action in the ring, and the outcome, I thought this was a fun opener. Give people a taste of the New Japan greats and just what this is for those that haven't seen it at all. But freaking Yano came part of the floor because he got the last damn number and didn't even get into the ring. That's bullcrap. But overall, I enjoyed this. This was fun.
Indeed. I mean, pretty much a unique way to kick things off. But anyway, so enough of this pre-show match. Forgot to mention, it is a pre-show. Now to the main card. So before they have the main card, you have is the guy who actually sang the theme song, the Don King character looking like. So after that, he introduced, of course, the New Japan Pro Wrestling legend, Ricky Choju. He brought in, yep, he brought in his grandson. Oh my God, his grandson's so cute. He thought, and there was a meme that like he was crying, but no, he was enjoying, of course. So Ricky Choju came out and then he had a speech about Wrestle Kingdom and whatnot. So pretty much well said, even though it's in Japanese, but we're trying our best. Anyway, so to kick things off for the first match is the number one contendership for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship match for night 2, who will be facing the champ Taiji Shimura. So you have is Hiromu Takahashi versus making his returning in Japan, El Fantasma. So right before everything started, you have Rocky Romero this stated it's January 4th in Japan. Do you know what that means? And of course, Kevin Kelly actually did the admirable thing and he actually paid a tribute to the late Brody Lee, which he actually passed away on December 26th. So if you guys want to check out the tribute, almost a 5-minute tribute episode of the Bulletcast, Philip did actually put out, check it out. And also me and Noah, we went on Instagram Live talking about our thoughts of the recent sad passing of Brody Lee. It's on my personal Instagram page. And also we did our AEW Dynamite recap of the trivia episode, which honestly, you guys, it was the hardest recap I ever done, especially watching it twice. I could not even keep up. It's so hard to watch, you guys. Let's just say that.
But it's hard to go back and watch the exclusive that came out the following day too. Not to go off a tangent here, but yeah, and you and I, we literally ringed out the air with a bunch of friends in Zoom. It was 2 hours that there was not bickering. There was not wrestling community separated from the world. It was just a world, a community coming together under one thing: empowerment, friendship, and a celebration of life. You couldn't have asked for a greater end to 2020.
Absolutely. Now let's go to talk about this match. So you have Hiromu Takahashi, who won the Best of Super Junior 27, and El Fantasma winning the Super J Cup. So Noah, overall, your thoughts and your takeaway.
First off, nice tribute to Edge, another great Canadian wrestler. Of course, the LP from Canada. He gave that tribute with the gear. The headbang theme I thought was pretty awesome. Hiromu, ELP, very different match versus what I thought it would be. Not very much high octane offense, more calculated and aggressive. Ridiculous aggressive sunset bomb spot, and then he constantly worked over the hand of Hiromu, thus trying to hinder him from using the time bomb. And ELP throwing out tributes to great Bullet Club leaders, including Kenny Omega, AJ Styles. Great counter action. Ridiculous moves I've never seen before out of both men, including the one where he draped Hiromu over the top rope and then just set his legs over him and flipped back into the ring. All the shenanigans on Hiromu's side. Ref got knocked up, and he literally punches Hiromu in the groin, blocked by the broken hand, but then he hits it. And I think at one point Hiromu's going to get this. And at the end of it, just out of nowhere, counted out CR2, and he trapped ELP. ELP, a victim of his own circumstances, got a little bit too cocky and overconfident. In my opinion, it was the honorable thing, too, because of the disrespect, not only to what Liger brought forth to this division and what he represented, but what he did to that jacket and to this event, Super J Cup. I couldn't have asked for a better way to just people to all want Hiromu to win. But again, ELP, deplorable human being, incredible athlete, hell of an opener.
Indeed. I mean, I know that ELP was looking for Liger to have him put on the jacket for him, even though after the disrespect for him throwing away that Super J Cup trophy and like showing that like he is a ruthless heel of it altogether. So yeah, overall, this match was pretty much a really solid opening of the match, especially you got Hiromu did counter the ELP Styles Clash with the Dynamite Plunger for the 2 count. And also the fact that like ELB did the typical low blow. Then he did a super hurricanrana, then a flock splash for a 2 count to Hiromu. And of course, like you said, Hiromu did counter ELP CR2 with a sunset flip to pick up the victory. Now, it was a hot opening of the match, but I was kind of a bit disappointed that we're going to be seeing another Hiromu versus Taiji Shimura's match because you know me, I don't like rematches that is like from the same contender for it. I wanted something to see it differently, and ELP would be the perfect choice, especially like we were like long overdue for a Bullet Club betrayal, because I would like to see Bullet Club versus Bullet Club, and that would be a perfect example, especially for ELP making his return in Japan since being stuck in his home country in Canada since the pandemic hit.
True,
So
and also it's the one thing he has yet to accomplish since being a part of New Japan Pro Wrestling. He has yet to obtain that particular piece of gold.
indeed, like yeah. Anyway, so let's go to move on here. So next up you have is the IWGP Tag Team Championship match, which you have the champ, of course, Dangerous Tekker, which is Taiji and Zack Sabre Jr. with Doki, of course, Suzuki-gun versus representing Bullet Club, God, Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa with Jaido. So God got some new ring gear. It looks really nice. And of course, the match itself, it was pretty brutal, but not super brutal compared to their World Tag League tournament. I mean, you have like a lot of referee like distraction from Jaido mostly, and I know like Doki was trying to like
play difference maker.
Exactly. Hit Jaido with the lead pipe. Of course, Jaido, of course, being the smart person he is, actually counter it. And so you have Zack Sabre Jr. with the DDT to Tongaloa, and then the Cobra Clutch to Tama Tonga for a 2 count, which is pretty innovative. Of course, you got God was about to do the super power bomb till Zack Sabre Jr. with the submission hold counter like he typically go for. So there was like a lot of tag team dynamic too. And of course, at the end, like Tama Tonga grabbed the Iron Claw from freaking Taiji after the referee was still like distracted from the whole Doki and Jaido situation. Grabbed the Iron Claw and then hit him. And that's where Tonga Loa did the ape shit. And officially, for the first time ever, God won their IWGP Tag Team Champion for 7 consecutive row, you guys. Like, holy crap. Could have been more proud of God. Of course, they're the Ruthless Tag Team in New Japan. So, yeah, anyway. Overall, your thoughts, Noah?
It was a very aggressive match. Respect to the fight Dangerous Tekker's brought here. Basically, mostly honorable the entire way. And honestly, there was some crazy spots. Zack Sabre Jr. literally risking his own body, saying, "It's the Tokyo Dome, mate!" Literally putting himself in a Tara Doom spot, trying to hinder, if not capitalize, on one of the members of God that he had in that clutch, like you mentioned. And then Taiji, he went to town on God. Kawada Kiss galore, Axe Bomber, Axe Bomber, Axe Bomber. 2 exchanges where all 4 men took each other out, and the match slowed down for a moment. But in the end, statistics have shown now 8 times the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team titles changed hands. And literally, the one thing God has yet to accomplish, winning at Wrestle Kingdom, your guys did it. Really great match, awesome fight. Taiji, I'm sure, pretty much is still knocked out, don't know what happened. And why they hold that iron glove, something tells me bad karma's coming their way. And Dangerous Tekkers are going to come back out of those towels. I guarantee you. But an awesome match overall.
Indeed, indeed. Now let's go and move on to the next match we have is the IWGP United States contract. Right to hold the contract. I call it the briefcase match. Let's say whoever wins the briefcase. All right. So
yeah, I mean, the briefcase is the thing. It's like Rocky said, it's like a title in itself. And before the match even began, well.
Yeah. Exactly. So you have the current briefcase holder, Kenta, versus Satoshi Kojima. So right before the match started, we got a surprise promo, and it's none other than the current IWGP United States champion, Jon Moxley. That's right. At a New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong Dojo here in California, of course. He did cut a promo that he will be waiting for it. Whoever will win the briefcase, he's going to be the one defending it. So I'm glad that Jon Moxley cut a promo, made his return to New Japan, even though it's just like a simple promo for it too. Yeah.
Hey, all we know is he still is the champion. He's been watching Boogeyman. He's coming for whoever holds that briefcase. I cannot wait to see Death Rider once again in action in New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Oh, indeed. Yep. So it's going to be a freaking amazing match in the making. Who knows what's going to happen. So anyway, overall, this match itself, it was a pretty decent match. I want to give props to Kojima for put up in this fight, especially he did like an impressive DDT on the apron, planting Kenta. Like, Jesus Christ, man. Like,
that was emphatic.
It is. So Noah, overall, your thoughts of this match?
Well, Satoshi Kojima wasn't originally supposed to be in this spot, but he took this spot and he ran with it, and he really showed I could still go with the best of them. Former IWGP Heavyweight Champion, I might add. And of course, his friend out there, Tencent, because they're 10 cozy, was a nice touch. It felt like Kenta was a bit more unhinged here, maybe after that promo especially, because now he's really sick and tired of waiting, and maybe he feels threatened as he went to town both on Kojima and Tencent at one point, literally taking out his friend. He tries to go for that briefcase later in the match, but I was like, what's stronger, that briefcase or the Lariato? Well, I got my answer because Kojima lariated that briefcase to the next time zone. In the end, though, aggressive strong style fight brought by both as overhand palm strikes met with freaking chops in the corner, machine gun chops, Kojima standard, and then Kenta wails into Kojima. But of course, in the end, it came down to 3 letters, GTS. Kojima went to sleep. Hell of a hard-fought battle, though. But Kenta, I think pretty much we know what's coming. I don't think he has to defend this against anybody else. Awesome match, and Kenta proved why he is ready for Moxley. But Kojima, respect.
Indeed. And also they made the announcement about like the returning new episode of New Japan Strong, starting with like the whole like the Young Lions showcase.
Yes.
According to what Kevin Kelly said, so looks like we're going to be getting more new episode and make a new episode within the coming weeks starting this Friday. Well, by the time of the recording of the video, since we're recording it on a Tuesday, video and audio, you guys.
Yeah, they're literally after Wrestle Kingdom, Tuesday night, 10:47 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, January 5th.
But yeah, so anyway, yeah, the match was pretty solid too, and especially much more respect for Kenta to get like, and now we're going to be seeing like what's going to be next, especially if Moxley will obligate with the New Japan now that like he's no longer an AEW World Champion, even though he already did the appearance on Dynamite in the recent days to come. But yeah, anyway, you guys, so then you have the commercial for like a smartphone gaming app. So it's like, okay, cool. Like, even though it's like everything is like all in Japanese, but it's like now we get it now. But looking forward to like that. And they just announced about like they're gonna be having a TV deal in the United States and in the UK very soon for more New Japan content instead of like the one we saw in New Japan World.
Exactly. Well, again, they were at one point on Access TV, but since Access couldn't control the content, it's like, you're not on here anymore. I wonder if there's a hint, though, with the purple background, because I'm like, okay, you gave me 10 seconds. Okay, you gave me a message. So what channel? Give me something more. Just let me suspend in disbelief.
Indeed, we'll find out about it, but yeah.
Fair enough.
Exactly. All right, so next up you have is Hiroshi Tanahashi versus representing Empire, Great-O-Khan. And okay, I'm gonna say Great-O-Khan's entrance is very elaborate, and I'm glad he's wearing his traditional ring gear, especially the fact that he has half a picture of Tanahashi's face, like on like covering his left side of the face before he throw it. So all in it was a pretty much a heavy hitting match in the making, especially Great-O-Khan with that brutal Mongolian chop to Tanahashi, and then he applied a knee bar until Tanahashi grabbed a rope break. That was like, holy crap. And of course, Tanahashi with the somersault senton for a 2 count, kicking out. And so it's like a lot of like, more of like a brutal back and forth, more offensing from Tanahashi, trying to be more into a fight. And then Khan, unbeknownst, he grabbed the chair as he lay on the ring. But then Tanahashi did counter with a couple strikes and then the twist and shout. And then Tanahashi did grab the chair, but nope, he threw it to the side, and then he did the dragon suplex for a 2 count. And then at the end, Tanahashi did the high fly flow, then not twice, not once, but second time, and thus he beat Great-O-Khan. This is like pretty much a pretty well put match that is like a veteran versus a rising star. Your thoughts?
Well, considering we have a rising foundation being built in a new faction called the Empire, I thought Great-O-Khan really did the best he could with, honestly, you couldn't ask for a better first opponent in your Tokyo Dome debut, the ace of New Japan, friggin' forever, Hiroshi Tanahashi. While this adversity that drives him forward about, you're not the same man you used to be, you can't go with the best of them, you can't carry this company as champion. And pretty much from Great-O-Khan's elaborate entrance, the longest entrance I think in Wrestle Kingdom. And honestly, since he's come to New Japan, literally hopping at one point, very unique entrance, talking about the Ace only half the man he once was, basically. Well, the Ace proved him wrong and humbled the man. But for a debut, Great-O-Khan, I think he held himself up pretty well on the grand stage ball at Tokyo Dome at Wrestle Kingdom. But you never back down and count out the Ace. The Ace, who has a huge resume of incredible victories at Wrestle Kingdom in the top tier spots, coming off last year, losing out, amateur tap out move, Boston Crab to Chris Jericho. Someone told me he had to win this because the Ace is far from done. Father Time, get the hell out of here. Awesome match, and I couldn't be happier for the Ace. And I can't wait to see what he does going forward. And again, I feel like he and Great-O-Khan will meet again very soon.
Indeed, indeed. So we'll see what's going to be happening within the future, especially one of the members of Empire. And speaking about Empire, yeah, let's go ahead and move on to the next match, which I think I consider this as the match of the night. And of course, shout out to Marcus Mack, who actually convinced me to watch this match. And it's only for this one wrestler itself. Kazuchika Okada versus Will Ospreay with Bea Priestley. So yes, I did watch the match, despite the fact that he's in the match. But you know what? I am solely focusing on is Okada. Now, I've been watching New Japan on and off since mid-2000. Not fully, just casually until, pandemic hit. And then when New Japan came back last year in June, I watched New Japan in full entirety and I becoming a full-fledged fan. Now I am a huge fan of Okada. Now I know why he is the New Japan modern day GOAT.
Thank you.
The way that he shows so much potential, so much dedication, especially like he can overcome any other obstacle. Now I know why people are 100% behind Okada for it too, especially into like a dangerous situation, especially with his back too. Like, oh my God.
That was scary.
Yeah. So anyway, you have his Chano on Japanese commentary.
The legend.
And overall, the match, holy crap. Like, it's a match of the night itself. Both guys killed each other. But with Okada, he did deliver with a brutal missile dropkick, sending this person outside of the ring, and then more brawls outside of the ring. And of course, oh my God, Okada got landed on the commentary table. Like, Jesus, man. And then, of course, like so many back and forth going on. And of course, Okada did apply the money clip, and we're like all waiting for him using the Rainmaker because like some of us are not a fan of his money clip submission hold that he typically do. Like, yeah, you too, Noah. And so we're just hoping he's going to be using a freaking Rainmaker so that we can pick up a victory. Well, you guys, Okada did kick it out of that Spanish fly, and then he did another drop kick, then more drop kick, and then he did apply just a light Rainmaker, but not a fully spinning Rainmaker, and then he applied the money clip until at the end, thank freaking God, Okada did apply what his favorite finisher that we all been banging for, Rainmaker, and thus Okada pick up the victory, and I could have been even more happier than ever. Noah, your thoughts?
Fucking match of the night. Simple as that. These two brought everything against each other. Okada in such uncertainty ever since losing last year, January 5th, his title, where he feels like he's not the same man he once was. He needs to be in that spot. He felt like he needed to experiment, evolve himself, change himself. That's applying, going for this money clip thing. And then honestly, he couldn't do anything, it seems, to garner some sort of momentum back to where he once was. 2020 was a horrible year for Kazuchika Okada, though he still is that top guy in New Japan. Credits of Okada be damned, because this match here, as Rocky Lucha on commentary, the only way Okada wins this is with the Rainmaker. If he doesn't do it, he will forever regret it. And thank God, maybe he heard Rocky, he did it in the end, and wiped the floor with someone he once called a brother and a former friend. And why he says it's just beginning of these two finding each other, I'm totally game to see this fight again. As again, nothing was left to chance. Okada took a massive amount of punishment and abuse to his back, to his neck, suplexes, power bombs, and that table spot galore. My God. And if it wasn't for that hidden blade spot in the front of the face, if that was hit it'd probably be a different story than what we're talking about now. But again, Okada, when it matters, like he says, you think about my matches like this one, think about when I made event at the Tokyo Dome. That was right up there. Freaking incredible match. Couldn't be happier to see Okada win, let alone classic Okada basically coming back 366 days later since he's been gone, winning with the Rainmaker. Absolute incredible match. Mad respect to both.
Indeed. Respect to Okada. But yeah.
Well, you know me. I'm just looking at the athletes here because due to circumstances we don't understand. It seems like New Japan Pro Wrestling is right now in the highlight of this guy. We would not judge him beyond that point. You can go read the things yourself. You are be your own critic. Okay. But anyway, and yeah, also I will say this. I still think it's blasphemy that she was there and the other two women that are New Japan weren't there, Pizza and Miho Abe, but I digress. But hey, she got her just desserts because she got
it's just BS, you know, but I can understand because I did watch Chase Owens live stream on Twitch and Peter's YouTube channel. Like her and Chase Owen did a joint live stream, and she said, I will stay one asking a question about if she's going to be at Wrestle Kingdom 15, and she said no because of COVID precaution, of course, which is BS, of course, a lot of controversy, but it's whatever. Anyway, let's go and
Moving on though, incredible match. Congratulations, Okada. Hopefully now he can move forward and get back to where he once was, leading New Japan as champion.
Alrighty, so let's go ahead and move on to the main event match, which is the IWGP Intercontinental and the IWGP Heavyweight Championship match, which has the champ Tetsuya Naito versus Kota Ibushi. That's right. Holy crap, that match was freaking phenomenal. Like,
and that's when I thought we had match of the night. Bing, they top it.
One.
Break it down, Cindy.
Another God one. Almighty. No, can you break it down, Noah? Because I already said enough about that last semifinal match.
Well, I mean, you said your piece of how you felt about that match, but you didn't do like the move play. You just talk about Rainmaker. But let me see if I can go through this match. Both these men were out for a suicide wish as they subtly smile against each other regarding how far these two will, let's be honest, they'll kill each other, okay? Over 500 plus days in the last face each other where we saw that horrific spot where Kota was dropped on his side, head, and neck on the apron back at Dominion. Yes, I said it. Back in 2019. Jesus Christ, Lord, forgive me. Anyway, this match though was really great. Both men starting out subtle and slow, trying to figure out each other. He goes to the outside, plants Ibushi on the apron. Naito feels firmly in control. And again, things really pick up though when we first find the guys on the apron. Lord help us, here we go. And it looks like we're going to get that similar spot, but out of nowhere, Kota Ibushi pops up on the apron and literally takes Naito off the apron on the floor through a run-up where Naito's knee, becoming the story of this match, goes through the barricade area, and we're like, holy cow, like Rocky Romero, how the hell did he do that? Go back into the ring, we get exchanges of suplexes, so many damn suplexes to Kota Ibushi's neck, and spike DDT, and poison round and counters galore. As this match continued, both men are brutalizing each other, where we're just going, Might I add, there was a ringside doctor who was slowly edging up his seat according to English commentary. Glad they thought about that ahead of time. As this match continued down the line, both these men eventually got their best shots in. Kota Ibushi with those iconic kicks that he does, of course, and then the standing moonsault fall for a nice near fall. It wasn't quite enough. Eventually, Naito, he does hit, of course, Gloria for a nice setup, but it wasn't also enough either. Finally, Kota Ibushi, it looks like he's about to channel that dark state. Doesn't necessarily go into that here, but he does unleash a hell fury of offense on Tetsuya Naito, and it looks like he's about to go for one last emphatic kick. Naito catches him, of course, with the friggin' Destino. First one of the match, no, Kota Ibushi kicked out. And then let's follow up from there. Eventually, Kota Ibushi, Boombaye, Kamagoye, kicked out. So we continue on from there. Now both these men have literally put out their best shot against each other. What the hell else can they do? Oh, I know. Let's go even further. Bastard driver. And then literally like a crunchy. Naito is just literally condensed. Anyway, Kota Ibushi, he follows up with this, going for another Kamagoye. That gets countered. A second Destino. Not quite enough. Naito can't believe it. Kota Ibushi goes all for broke eventually with the friggin' Phoenix Splash. Ends up in a crash as Naito get that second Destino, as I said. But anyway, going down towards the end of this match, another Kamagoye exposed, just fast forwarding to the end, all the controversy, all the adversity, all the trials, tribulations, all the hubris and confidence You look at both these men, the story they were telling, what they brought in here. Kota Ibushi overcame Tetsuya Naito and ascended finally where he wanted to be as double champion. But what was really the big story here is after the match, it was Naito who personally passed off those titles to Kota Ibushi, thus ushering in the golden era of New Japan. What an absolutely incredible, emotional, physical battle. I couldn't be happier for this young man on a 26-year journey to this point. The dedication he's put towards this, for his love of pro wrestling, and to be a bigger influence and spread it. I couldn't have been happier with this match. It was the match of the night. My God.
Absolutely, Noah. I mean, that match, like from the whole storytelling aspect of it to how both guys are like trying to like beat the holy hell out of each other. It's like shows like these compelling like dynamics these two are in it for each other, and like man, it was like a too close to call too.
Literally back and forth,
Yeah.
back and forth, back and forth.
Yeah, and especially like how many times that Kota Ibushi has done the Kamigoye like 5 times, like Jesus Christ, until like he put his knee pads down with the exposed knee, and then boom, he did it.
By the way, he did that after a V trigger. Shout out to a former friend and golden lover.
Oh yeah. So yeah, all in all, yeah, that match was freaking killer together. Anyway, afterwards, after Ibushi got his title presented, out comes Jay White and Geto coming out. Jay White cut a promo just congratulating Ibushi, but told him what just to be careful for tomorrow since he is going to be facing Ibushi for both titles. So yeah, overall, Noah, that was a pretty impressive like night one.
Yeah,
I
mean, I loved it.
Yeah, me too. Like it's like, I was so hooked onto it together. But we're going to talk a little bit about the comparison between night one and night two after we're done the recap for it too in the brief summary. Yeah. So let's go ahead and move on to night two. So it took place on Tuesday, January 5th, of course, still on the weekdays, y'all. So to kick things off with the opening of the match, you have it's the 4-way KOPW 2021 Provisional Trophy match, which you have, of course, Bushi versus Balak Fale versus Chase Owens versus Noah's favorite, Toru Yano.
Freaking Yano! That guy! God!
Anyway, this opening match was kind of like a gimmicky match, to say at least. I mean, Chase Owens and Fale, they did a too sweet, and they were about to do a too sweet until freaking Fale did the finger poke duel. I was like, oh my God, are you serious? Like, this is not WCW. Like, oh my God.
That was funny.
Anyway, so there was like a lot of back and forth going on between Chase and Fale, even though they did work together. Like they did the Tonkin massage parlor to Yano. And then, of course, Chase did actually beg Kevin Kelly to salute him, and that's it. And of course, with Bushi, he does his usual moveset too. He was about to do the MX to Chase, but of course, like he got sideswiped by Fale. And of course, it's kind of like more of a cluster effort of it all. But then at the end, there was a referee distraction from Fale and Chase Owens while they were kind of like arguing who should pin Bushi, and if you win, we win. Yeah, kind of like a whole like you win, we win all type of deal until Yano with the double blow to both Bullet Club members, and then he actually pinned Bushi. Poor Bushi. And thus, Yano, you can say Yano did retain his trophy, so he is the King of Pro Wrestling 2021 Provincial Trophy. Yeah, your thoughts, Noah? Rant away.
Oh God, this guy, that's freaking my anxiety. I can't. Okay, look, I was hoping Bushi would win this because I like the idea of Bushi and Rocky Romero going out to each other for KOPW 2021. But no, your egos had to get the best of you. Bury the turnbuckle. I don't like you. Coming into play at one point. Literally, Bushi trying to go for MX gets countered. I thought Chase Owens was going to package power drive the guy. I figured Bushi was going to be the fall guy because when it comes to Bushi, it just seems like he can't get out of the gate. Okay, honestly, okay. This poor guy, I don't know what's up with him. He needs to get his head on straight and figure out stuff. And then Bad Luck Fale and Chase Owens let their egos get the best of them. Literally, when one of you just do it for Bullet Club. Who cares what individual do? Do freeboard, bro. I don't care. But no, what happened? My mind went out. Bullcrap, Kevin Kelly. Get better equipment. A friggin' double low blow. And literally, He pins Bushi, who's already fallen from the grenade launcher, and freaking Yano wins this. Bullcrap! I'm so annoyed. But it was pretty funny. And again, Fatal 4-Ways, they don't have it in New Japan a lot for a reason because they are a bit of a mess. But yeah, whatever. Congratulations, Yano. I'm annoyed.
Yeah, no, I'm so sorry. You're gonna have to deal with Yano being the KOPW 2021.
I've got 2 trophies.
Yep. So we're gonna have to deal with it until there's gonna be a new champion.
Freaking Yano. Anyway, now I got my rant done. I'm good.
All right. So let's go and move on to the next match right here, which is the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship match, which you have is the champ Suzuki-gun, which is Aldo Sprado and Yoshinobu Kanemaru versus the team of 108, which is Ryusuke Taguchi and Master Wato with Hiroyoshi Tenzan. First of all, Wato got a freaking upgraded ring gear. About time. What a major upgrade it is.
All right.
And of course, guess who's on commentary?
Jushin Liger.
That's right. So ELP is missing this altogether, but oh well.
That's a shame.
So anyway, the match itself was pretty much your decent tag team match. Nothing too memorable about it, except for Wato has no patience to start attacking Aldo Sprado right away. And because, the fact that since Wato debuted in New Japan back in July, he had a feud mostly with Suzuki-gun versus Aldo Sprado. And of course, he lost to Kanemaru at Jingu Stadium back in August.
I want that match for this.
So it's kind of like more of a retribution too. So it's a lot of back and forth going on until Kanemaru keep pushing the ref to Wato like not once but twice or 3 times until he able to get the target by attacking Master Wato right away. So yeah, it was a lot of shenanigans. And of course, you have Taguchi with the usual push-up buns of steel, just like what Naomi used to do, her old finisher. I mean, not her old finisher, her signature move to it. So it's
the rear view.
Yeah, and then he did the modified 3 amigos to Aldo Sprado. And then, of course, Suzuki-gun with the knee buster drop kick to Taguchi, as Aldo Sprado did apply the neuro dose until Master Wato did broke the submission. So all in all, it was pretty much a decent match. Until at the end, Aldo Sprado with the pinche loco to Taguchi, and thus Suzuki-gun retained the titles. Overall, it was a pretty fun match. But honestly, I just wish that Suzuki-gun should have dropped the title because, I know we've been discussing during the New Japan recap for the Best of Super Junior 27 and World Tag League that Aldo Sprado is better off being a single competitor, especially how he proved himself with his match against Homaru Takahashi.
Oh, yeah.
Finals. So why not him being the rising star, especially being the next contender instead of being a tag team? But, it is what it is. Noah, overall, your thoughts?
I thought Master Wato and Taguchi, impromptu team, 108, they call themselves, for their first Wrestle Kingdom appearance, and Wato's also first Wrestle Kingdom appearance. Pretty good match. Master Wato demonstrating his hybrid style that classifies him as a unique junior heavyweight. Really came into play here. I thought Taguchi was going to run forever until freaking Suzuki came into play. They tried to bring in the Satori special. That didn't work. Their great counter offense, back and forth action. Buns still did come and play. In fact, NJPW Global literally retweeted the tweet that I said that. But in the end, El Desperado, that closed right fist. And the Pince Loco, it allows the champs to retain. In general, I didn't see Master Wato and Taguchi winning these titles, despite the fact these titles have changed hands now, 7 straight years. But also, I think Taguchi kind of spoiled himself when he says, I play with tarot cards, and every scenario says we lose. Well, maybe you should stop doing that. I just didn't see Taguchi and Wato as the junior heavyweight tag team champions right now, but I do agree with you that El Desperado this year should definitely break out as a top tier junior heavyweight. I honestly want to see him challenge for Romu at Dominion. There, I said it. But great match. I thought the right team won here because, again, you have one of the best duos that have been IWGP junior heavyweight tag team champions. One of the longest reigns, I might add, too, a couple of years ago. And who knows, with all this dispute with Master Wato and Suzuki-gun, maybe Heel Master and Grandmaster can be revisited. Good match. Glad the chance retained.
Indeed. Pretty much a well put out good match. Anyway, let's go ahead and talk about this next match.
This was freaking awesome.
I consider it the match of the night for night 2. The never openweight championship match between Oh my God, the champ, Shingo Takagi versus representing Empire and North Cal's favorite, Jeff Cobb. Who would have imagined someone from North Cal had a freaking incredible, brutal match of the night? Who would have imagined?
To be fair, Jeff Cobb's not human. He's superhuman.
I've witnessed Jeff Cobb being not human at past independent wrestling show when he used to wrestle. He was a freaking longest reigning APW Universal Heavyweight Championship. Like, shit.
Longest reigning Ring of Honor television champion. Virtually was undefeated.
Oh, yeah. So, Noah, your thoughts on this match?
It was the Dragon versus the Juggernaut, in my opinion, as you had Jeff Cobb's freaky power versus Shingo's explosiveness. Because before this match, in previous 3 singles encounters, Jeff Cobb always won. Shingo Takagi has yet to beat the guy. As Jeff Cobb alluded to during his press conference, he did this because he wants to exceed where he has been unable to. And he literally challenged Shingo Takagi, are you willing to die for this title? And virtually throughout this match, I thought Shingo was on the point that he was going to collapse from lack of breath and life, because it was literally what Shingo expected to be. A suplex party. Rebound suplexes off the rope, side suplexes, belly-to-belly suplexes, gut-wrench suplexes, and then Shingo, of course, comes up with his power, with I like to call the Shingo combo, the friggin' jab, the friggin' elbow strike, and the friggin' lariato. No effect. First time I ever saw it, I was like, what in the hell is Jeff Cobb made up? He's not human. Neither of these men are friggin' human. As these guys continue to well into each other, Jeff Cobb answering back with his own combo at some point, literally hits the spin cycle finally to try and separate the islands, but a ridiculous lariato chop block to Jeff Cobb's leg hindered that, which, in my opinion, might have saved Shingo Takagi's title here, because at one point he did hit toward the irons, could not capitalize immediately on the pin. But this match was far from waiting from that point, with these two having emphatic kickouts and exchanges. At one point, literally, the two men are headbutting each other, striking each other. Shingo Takagi gets the better of the exchange. You would think, no. The power of Cobb comes into play, and he literally suplexes the guy. Shingo stands up on his feet, though, and I figure he's out. And then what does he do? Explosive lariat. That does not take out Jeff Cobb. What the hell are these two made of? Freaking wheelbarrow suplex later on. And then finally, Gonzo bomb. Not enough. What the hell was this one move that I saw freaking Jeff Cobb do out of the Razor's Edge into a freaking power bomb? That was absolutely ridiculous. Big men should not move like that. Should not be that agile as a freaking cruiserweight with a vertical standing drop kick. And then literally as Rocky, yeah, let's rename this title the BMF title, because these are just bad mother. Anyway, definitely a difference maker here. Dragon Screw Shingo Takagi pulled off, and literally ridiculous power bomb, and Cobb would not stay down. Shingo would not stay down. Finally hits a pumping bomber that turns Cobb inside out, upside down. And why Made in Japan didn't work earlier, Last of the Dragon finally was accomplished, did the work. Shingo retained in what will be forever probably my match of the night for January 5th. And another reason why I love the Neverweight title so much, to the point I treated, and I believe this is true, that was a match that made Katsuyori Shibata smile. And if he could still wrestle, I bet he would love to wrestle either of those two men. Absolutely freaking incredible, super heavyweight affair. Love this match top to bottom. Congratulations to Shingo. But Cobb, in defeat, was made that night.
Indeed. That was a freaking brutal match in the making.
My God.
Too close to call, too. Oh, my God. Like my concern about Shingo Takagi is, like, I'm hoping his back is not going to throw out when he was about to do that freaking when Jeff Cobb did the freaking superplex, like,
and the power bomb. I mean, he literally worked the man's back the entire match.
Like, my God, both guys are going to be waking up so aching and stuff the next day.
It's like Shingo says, it's a pain, but it's a good pain. It thrives him. It thrives him. This is what he wants to do. He wants to infuse his spirit in Never. Well, he did in his Wrestle Kingdom singles match-wise debut. Congratulations.
Indeed.
Good Lord.
Like, wow. It was a freaking brutal heavy-hitting match. And I'm glad Shingo Takagi did retain the title. Like, for the fact that, like, with Takagi, that I feel like there's more opponents he can definitely, like, face off. And regarding with Jeff Cobb, I feel like with Jeff Cobb, he should be continuing on as a tag team, since now Empire has already been forming. Not even we're like 3 months straight. Like, empire has been forming. So they need to continue on being more of like a unit of it too. So Jeff Cobb as a single competitor, I don't think that's going to happen. I want to have him continue on being tagging with Great O'Khan, of course, because they're just a 4-person member if you want to include Priestley in it. So that's why I went with Tagage in the first place. So yeah,
Well, you were the only one that did, so smart move on your part, because I thought Shingo was going to pass this title back to Jeff Cobb as a former never champion and then go pursue the heavyweights titles because, again, this guy is definitely one of these standouts in New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Exactly, and I wish it would have been freaking the match, the title continue for night 2, but hey, night 2, meaningless in the bullet cast, but hey, I'm just, I'm not throwing shades, I'm being 100% real.
So, well, whatever. Cindy, I don't play those rules, and you did come super close in my league, so I'm sure you're ready to try and win at New Beginning. We'll talk more about that.
Exactly. Anyway, so let's go ahead and move on to the next match right here. You have is the feud that needs to end already, which is Evil with Dick Togo versus Sanada. That match, it was over 20 minutes long. This match was really too long, you guys. I'm sorry.
It was a slow burn. I agree.
It was a slow burn where, like, you know, I was starting to fall asleep. Like, is there going to be any cool moments? Like, what's going on? Same old shtick together. So, of course, more referee distraction, especially with Dick Togo's part. Especially you saw Dick Togo bring in the table to position. So that way that Evil was about to do like a suplex to Sanada, but no, Sanada did counter and he did the magic corkscrew while they're both in the ring, of course. Evil did the backbreaker and then a superplex. Then Darkness Storm submission hold until Sanada did break the pin, the rope break, and then Evil did the Darkness Fall for a 2 count. Sanada with the TKO for a 2 count, and of course, ref down as Dick Togo got involved, of course, by accident. And then both guys, which is Dick Togo and Evil, did the Magic Killer to Sanada.
What an insult.
Until, like, Sanada did push Evil to the rope, like, knocking down Dick Togo, of course. And then Sanada did try to do the Scotland, then a double moonsault until Evil did got both of his knees up. And, of course, like, more referee distraction, of course. And then, wow, Dick Togo got the freaking rope to choke Sanada. Sanada did overcome it. And then Evil was about to tackle him until, nope, Sanada pushed Evil, which Dick Togo lost his balance, and guess what? He freaking landed on the table, which is
exploded through it.
And then, of course, at the end, Sanada with the Kappa TKO, and then he did a moonsault, and thus Sanada did pick up the victory. So all in all, this match was pretty good, slow pace, too long, but I'm glad this feud ends. Noah, your thoughts?
I truly hope it's the end of a feud, and I feel like it's bigger and better things for Sanada because, believe it or not, beating Evil, he is a former double champion. What's also interesting, Sanada did this his own way, not a single strike. He did Paradise Lock, he focused on technical game, and he focused on his submission games, and he didn't break his morals. By the way, Abe-san did not deserve that punishment with those Irish whips to Sanada in the barricade that turned the table over on him. That was ridiculous.
Oh,
Evil.
yeah.
Good grief. Poor Abe-san. But regardless, I'm so darn glad that Sanada won this. And I feel like it was rightful justice when he literally hit Evil with everything is evil, even though that didn't lead to the win. Couldn't be happier for Cold Skull, which was a really rocky 2020, to say the least, from the man. And now, hopefully, this rivalry is done and Sanada can move on to bigger and better things. I want 2021 to be a breakout year for Sanada.
Indeed. And we're going to be talking about it shortly. Now, let's move on to the next match right here, which is the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship match, which is the champ Taiji Ishimori versus Hiromu Takahashi. Now you have Chano on commentary now, joining with Liger and others. And like I said, this match was pretty much a well thought out match, even though, like I said, I really don't like seeing the rematch again. But hey, it was a well put fight. I don't consider it as a match of the night. It was just your solid, good, typical quality match. Your thoughts, Noah?
I look at it a little differently. While I understand how you feel about rematches, there's been sagas of rematches that are memorable. I mean, look at Kenny Omega, Kazuchika Okada, just saying. And here's what I liked really a lot about Hiromu and Ishimori. It was a test of wills, and they were semi-main event. Over this last year, the junior heavyweight division has been elevated heavily by Hiromu. And while Tajimori has not had a single title defense since winning at Jingu Stadium, he proved why he is worthy of being champion and brought the fight here. He even said in the press conference, the guy with the strongest will won, as he gave everything, tried to destroy, once again, Hiromu's shoulder, tried to tap out the man. He elbowed the man into the next century as Hiromu kept coming into it. I thought Hiromu literally was on autopilot, and I thought his brain was broken. And I thought literally Red Shoes was going to call for a freaking KO here. Well, that didn't exactly work. Ridiculous 450 on the arm, though, to set up for that submission hold. I thought we were going to get Reaper Jingle Stadium. It didn't happen. And then Hiromu, he counters back, big German counter with a ridiculous running DVD in the corner. You hear the thud on that. Wild destroyer spot by Ishimori. Turned freaking Hiromu into the next time zone. And again, literally Hiromu, he just would not stay down. It was infuriating Ishimori with every shot that he gave this guy. Hiromu's will would not hold. This match is a testament to what the junior heavyweight division can be, and they can main event Tokyo Dome, which I'm sure is Hiromu's next goal, because I would go towards the end of this. And this match, by the way, went nearly for 30 minutes. It went over to 25 minutes. At the end of this match, he finally hit Time Bomb 2 after counting out a submission hold that pretty much nobody ever breaks out of. If friggin' Taiji locked that in, he probably would have won this match. But no, Time Bomb 2, and Hiromu literally has now done everything, gone full circle. 2 times in a row now at Wrestle Kingdom. He has once again become IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion. But in defeat, he and Hiromu, Taiji Ishimori, mad respect to this Bone Soldier. They have elevated this division. As he said, it's reborn. Incredible match, and now I hope to see that this can become a main event. Because what Hiromu has led through his spirit and through this division, it shows that junior heavyweights can go, if not surpass, heavyweights. Absolutely incredible affair. Congratulations to Hiromu. I hope Taiji Ishimori, though, he will get back to this, but maybe not so soon. Because again, while this was a rematch, it took 6 months to happen. And it definitely surpassed Jingu Stadium. So nothing but respect.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So yeah, I doubt that Hiromu will be main eventing on like those big pay-per-view type of deal, because he is still gonna be in the junior heavyweight and he's still the champion.
Right.
The only way he wants to main eventing, even though like the only way he want to be main eventing is just bump up to the heavyweight, which I know New Japan, they're very serious when it comes to class weights, but
exactly,
it is what it is. Anyway, so next up, main event match time. The IWGP Intercontinental and the IWGP Heavyweight Championship match, which you have is the new current champ, Kota Ibushi versus Switchblade Jay White with Gato. So that
just when you thought we said we had match of the night, they did it again, and they made history.
I honestly don't consider it as a match of the night. It was kind of like a well-put storytelling of a match of it too. Right. Like I feel like when it comes to match of the night, it has to be more of a monumental moment, more memories, stuff of that. With this particular match, yes, it is going to be somewhat memorable, but it's not going to be too memorable, as as I was saying though. Like I feel this is like more of like a match that they're both killing each other, especially Jay White being the ruthless heel that he is in New Japan, trying to make sure that he wanted to grab those titles away from someone who actually really deserves it. And he finally did it too.
This was more so for me story of the night. When I think about match of the night, there's different classifications. You look at the physical, all-out brawl that you see. You look at the overall story being told, maybe, or you look at the ones that are most memorable for maybe the wildest moments and risks that they take. This, for me, was the story of the night, but the never was the match of the night. But go ahead.
Agree, that too. So yeah, there was like a lot of heavy-hitting moment. You have Ibushi did kick Jay White after Jay did have some exchange words to Red Shoe, of course.
AK for that was a first kick by Kota Ibushi that turned his chest.
And then Jay White with the Kiwi crusher for a 2 count. And then Jay White did the double dragon sleeper. And then a ITO submission as Ibushi did scream, no, until he finally got the rope break for it too. And then, of course, you saw the part where Jay White kind of like fake injure him. And like the referee was trying to like throw an X, but then Ibushi kind of knows that like Jay is faking it. So that's why he continued to like strike him until Jay did low blow him and it took the advantage of it too. And then Ibushi with the incredible power bomb to Jay White not once but twice for a 2 count. And of course, he did try and apply the Kamigoye, but then Jay kicked out for a 2 count. And then Ibushi tried with the Phoenix Splash until freaking Gato did drag the red shoe off, so that way it can be like a distraction until Jay with the Blade Runner, until Ibushi did actually kicked out for a 2 count after, of course, like the referee.
First time ever the Blade Runner has been kicked out.
And then Jay with another I.T.O submission until Ibushi kind of did the rope break. So,
and we're 45 minutes in.
Yeah, it was 45 minutes in, like so many heavy hitting until at the end, Ibushi freaking did the reverse Kamigoye, then knee pads down, then exposed knee Kamigoye, and thus Kota Ibushi retained the title. And thus, that was a freaking incredible ending of the storytelling match in a hellhole for making for Ibushi. Your thoughts, Noah?
You couldn't have asked for a greater combination of a professional wrestler who dedicated himself to this craft to make it the best in the world beyond anything else, with the people that he wants to do it for, us, the fans. Never will die, never will surrender, never will quit, never will betray, never will give up. Subtle storytelling when Ibushi was in that submission for the second time and Jay White seemed desperate to make the man tap, and we thought that Kota was going to pass our tap. They just panned to the audience who was clapping like, this truly shows Kota is doing this for us. And I feel in that fleeting moment, Kota remembered why he is here, why he is doing this. Again, this match was an absolutely incredible story, emotional roller coaster, as you wonder, what the hell is it going to take? How's this thing going to end? I know Jay White matches go the distance, but now this is the longest Tokyo Dome match in history. That's saying something. Congratulations on what both men accomplished. And Jay White came in with a perfect game plan, it seemed. It seemed like it was just a known factor that he was not going to win this. He absolutely could win this, the biggest moment of his young career, but it was not meant to be, as someone's heart and will was stronger than every dirty trick that he freaking pulled out here, including Gato, who got Kamigoye for his troubles. I'm glad that happened. Absolutely incredible match, wonderful story, perfect, phenomenal, pun intended, ending. Congratulations to the man who now says he has become God, and I agree with him, Kota Ibushi.
Indeed. Well, throughout storytelling match, perfect ending until afterwards when Kota Ibushi did present got his title back. Out comes Sonata in full suit. So he came into the ring and he congratulated Ibushi as a champion, even though he did face him at the G1 Climax finale, but then lost, of course. But he wanted to make sure to say like he's ready to challenge him for the title, of course.
Kota also admitted that he barely won that match, as Sonata offered him a gift to challenge Pro Wrestling's Hope, Sonata called himself. And he was wondering if Kota Ibushi would accept it. And Kota basically said this, anytime, anywhere.
That's right. And of course, and then once Sonata left, Ibushi cut a victory speech. And then, of course, he said at the end, he is God, of course. And
standing ovation by all commentary being signed, both Japanese and English. A beautiful closing, magical moment to this incredible 2-day spectacle.
Indeed. And thus that's closed off night 2 of Wrestle Kingdom. But before we give our overall thoughts, there has been a press conference afterwards with 2 noteworthy news that we should touch base on before it.
Great.
Number one, Ibushi wanted to unify both the IWGP Heavyweight and the Intercontinental. Now, I'm having mixed feelings about it because like a lot of people wanted the title to be split, like back to it is, because face it, the Intercontinental title is like going to be 10 years old since the first ever IWGP IC champion was none other than MVP.
That's correct.
In May of 2011, of course. And so you wanted to unify one that is like the most of the oldest title, and then the other one that is like even 10 years old. Unify, like, how does it work? What's going to be happening moving forward when it comes to the rest of the title? So are they going to be taking the King of Pro Wrestling Provisional Trophy seriously? Like, I just don't get what New Japan logic is together. I just rather have the title split, not unify it as a whole too. Your thoughts on it, Noah?
Kota Ibushi wants to unite these 2 titles because one claims you are the strongest, but one claims you are the greatest, respectively. If you unite these 2 titles, which, to be fair, he does bring up a point about, okay, you're double champion, but you're just defending both titles at once. why not defend the titles individually like one at a time? He's saying he's willing to do anything to push pro wrestling. He's willing to defend these two titles individually on the same night if needed. He even said at his press conference he was ready to fight Sonata then and there. Pretty sure his brain was not fully there. But to go off your point here, unifying these two, when I look at KOPW and who was involved in the Rambo, if that is the field you're proposing trying to dedicate towards that, make that seem more serious, maybe this unification could work. But then I go back to what the Intercontinental title stood for and who I think should be a champion for that hasn't been. Sonata, Tomohiro Ishii, just two names off the top of my head. I have mixed feelings about this, but if there's one thing I've come to know about New Japan Pro Wrestling, they often do not disappoint, and they plan in advance, and they know how to reconstruct. I didn't think this Double Gold Saga would go as far as it did, let alone work. And they made it work for a whole entire year. And there's only been two people before Kota that held it. So to answer your question about this unification, if KOPW is treated as a serious matter among the entire New Japan Pro Wrestling roster, then I think this unification could work because you literally dedicate this title to the one true people that want to be the absolute best in professional wrestling, not just New Japan. So it depends on how they showcase KOPW. If they do that the right way, I think the unification could work. Otherwise, I still believe consciously, I'd rather see Tomohiro Ishii contend for the Intercontinental Championship.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, there's got to be a logical reason, like they have to come to an agreement. I'd rather see people split, but if they unify the title, then it's not going to be pretty well received for some. Like,
I think it's going to be like negative backlash at first, but then when they showcase it, I think people understand. I think people were skeptical about this KOPW thing, and while again, freaking Yano has dominated this thing, it has brought out some interesting matches and has given opportunity to other people in New Japan that have not had anything well beyond a friggin' opening match. And again, that might be what some people are content with because again, New Japan's not the same as what happens here. But I digress. And like Kota said, he's willing to even defend both of these titles in individual matches, even on the same night. He's willing to do whatever it takes to make professional wrestling the best it could possibly be, to take it as far as possible, to bring in as many fans as possible. Nothing but respect. I can't wait to see what this guy does as champion, but I'm curious what Chairman Shigebayashi thinks about those poignant parts by Kota Ibushi regarding a title unification. So we're just going to have to wait and see.
Indeed. Anyway, segue into another news because we want to make sure the time is like short and stuff. Right, Jay White. So he made a press conference. He said that New Year's Dash is going to be his last appearance. Especially you're showing a broken down real Jay White.
Yeah, the real person, not the wrestler Jay White. He even used his real name.
That's right.
Damn.
And sheesh, you guys. So Jay White confirmed that New Year's Dash is going to be his last appearance. Now, what is going to be happening with Jay White? There has been rumors that like WWE is interested in him or he's going to be taking a break. There's a lot going on. For me, I'd rather say this. I feel that this is going to be Jay White's last run in New Japan. He's been with the company for 8 years for it. If it's a word, then yeah, oops, whatever. But still, your thoughts, Noah, on this?
I don't think Jay White is as big as a troll as Kenta. For the first time in Jay White's career since being part of New Japan Pro Wrestling, this is the most serious I've ever taken the man because it wasn't a wrestler talking. It was a broken person that I think was trying to really wonder what is left for him, what is next, do I still belong here? I honestly don't know how to perceive this. I honestly want to be in the back of my mind, be like, okay, it's a work. Someone else in Bullet Club's going to take over like a big spot, like he gave Kenta the shine at last year's New Year's Dash. And then I think about the sagas of Bullet Club betrayal and who could take the place that Jay White has taken, where he's elevated the Bullet Club to a whole new identity. It's just odd for me to think about Bullet Club and Jay White not in the same sentence. And with Gato, again, being the head guy behind all this, we know he books everything. And Gato being literally the right-hand man with Jay White, but Gato was not there with Jay White. You have to only imagine what Gato thinks about all this, too. Honestly, I'm not sure how to perceive this, but with New Year's Dash and anything can happen, I'm very, very curious to see what Jay White does tomorrow night and what he believes is his final match. But honestly, it's not the first time if someone takes excursion maybe or just time off, comes back and reinvents themselves too. I'm hoping it's more so just that because honestly, at this point, I say Jay White has definitely earned some valid time off. maybe it's time to redefine the Switchblade.
Indeed, especially the fact that we're kind of like long overdue for a Bullet Club betrayal. So pretty much for New Year's Dash, it will be it. I know that the podcast is going to be up right after New Year's Dash. So yeah, you guys just bear with us on that. But anyway, so that's the concludes Wrestle Kingdom 15, Noah. So I would like to say which night is better, night 1 or night 2, and overall match of the night for both nights and for overall.
Okay. So what was better overall, night 1 or night 2? Night 2 gave me the match of the night just for that show, but I got 2 out of night 1. So I think I kind of have to give it to night 1 overall when I think about what Okada finally accomplished, bringing back the classic Rainmaker and what Kota and Naito did, not only in their match, but their moment. I think night 1 was better overall outside the pre-show, freaking Yano. As far as my overall match of the entire event, Shingo Takagi, Jeff Cobb, hands down. I cannot stop thinking about what I witnessed during that match from both of those men in what that title should be renamed the BMF title. So that's my solo thoughts regarding that. And then you had one other question. What was it?
Match of the night overall.
Match of the night overall. Match of the night overall. Oh boy, that's tough. Again, greatest story, powerful will. I can't go beyond the Never title. I have to give it to the Never Openweight Championship. Jeff Cobb and Shingo Takagi gave me one of the most powerful super heavyweight belts I have seen in a long time. And I've watched Never Openweight matches for a long time. Some of them are just more testing about, okay, who could take the hardest fight? Who could take the hardest hit? These two didn't let up on each other at all. When I've seen those other matches literally have moments where the guys are down for a brief second or just testing each other. These two, they didn't give each other an inch. It's never a weight title for me, hands down, Shingo and Cobb. Second has to be freaking Kota and Naito. And third, gotta give it to Okada because Okada brought back the Rainmaker. So that's my overall thoughts.
All right. So for my end, I'm going to give it night 1 because I feel night 1 to have more of a great top quality match, especially like most of the matches, it went on a perfectly good pace for it. Night 2, even though night 2, I feel like some of the matches has been like questionable, especially one match is like coming a little bit too long for it too. So I'm going to give the edge to night 1. So overall, night 1 match of the night, of course, would be Okada versus Ospreay, and night 2, Shingo Takagi versus Jeff Cobb.
There you go.
And for the overall like match of the night for Wrestle Kingdom 15, honestly, this match is also going to be the candidate for match of the year for 2021. I'm going to go with Okada versus Ospreay.
Can't argue.
Okada put a more of a heavy hitting of the match altogether, and it's like more of like this whole like compelling story, especially the end of a rivalry of a betrayal.
This is the Okada we've been waiting to see for 1 year that has been just put to the side and finally brought back, if only for one night. I can't argue that. Absolutely.
Right. All right, you guys, and so we're going to be giving our letter grade, and I made a decision as one part of the announcement. I'm retiring the thumbs up, thumbs down one and just make it more into like a letter grade to make more sense. So my grade for Wrestle Kingdom, I'm actually going to give an 8-. It is a pretty solid Wrestle Kingdom 15, especially during this pandemic. They're trying putting their best in their efforts too. You have really great solid matches altogether, and also like more of like storytelling of it too. So that's why I'm giving it an A-. What about you?
Freaking Yano. I look at all these matches though. I'm being fair and unbiased. I think about every match, the quality, the storytelling, the length, the outcomes, and overall any spots I found, like why did this happen? Because of the Evo Sonata being more so a slow burn that could have been maybe like just 5 minutes shorter, maybe 10 minutes shorter, honestly. I can't give it a perfect A. It's not a perfect show. I have to agree with you. Everything else gave me an incredible story, compelling action. Okada brought back the Rainmaker. Can't say that enough. Cobb and Shingo destroyed each other, and Kota Ibushi ascended and became God in what really was a 2-night turnaround after a year of absolute challenge, trial, tribulation, and dismay. This overall event is an A- for me.
Awesome. And thus that concludes the recap for New Japan Pro Wrestling Wrestle Kingdom 15. Now, you guys, as I promised, I'm going to make an announcement regarding the format for Into the Stratosphere. You know, I've been doing this since August, and I'm forever grateful for Philip to have me in this platform, especially the fact that like there has been a lot of mishaps going on, like with the uploading schedule and a little bit of behind the scenes, which it's classified, y'all. With that being said, I made a decision that like I'm not gonna be doing like a thorough recap of like each of the shows, but giving you guys just the results and just like a brief thoughts, but not too much. So I know that like I'm supposed to be doing the episode for next episode about recap for Impact Wrestling and Genesis. I'm probably going to be bringing back next week because that's where it's going to be the predictions for the Hard to Kill pay-per-view that is going to be coming up next week. And I'm not going to go into play-by-play details as well. As long as I want to make sure this format is short but sweet and not overwhelmed with my mental health, especially the fact that I've been going through a lot as of recent, especially with circumstances with my family. And also, you guys, as you guys know, I did launch my own podcast called the Adventures in Wrestling Storytelling Edition, which I do storytelling podcasts and then wrestling for like everybody, like everyday people gone to their past wrestling show and kind of like HBO. So I just want to make sure that like something that's going to be more of like more doable, especially would be making it easier for Philip to upload it, the content as well, even though like the upload schedule is like more like complicated as it is. But I decided just to like make some couple changes for Into the Stratosphere. I know that like I know I'm gonna be having like some talks with Philip about it, but you know, I just want to make sure 2021 would be the year, something different, something that it's not going to make me feel burned out altogether. So those are my announcements, Bulletcast Nation, regarding with the Into the Stratosphere, with the format changes, you guys. So the Impact Wrestling recap or slash results will be next week, especially for the prediction for Hard to Kill. And I'll be throwing in my little bit of my thoughts of Genesis as well. However, if there's gonna be like breaking news or anything like that, I'm probably gonna be popping up on Instagram live on my personal Instagram page because I feel that it's more efficient and more easier, just like with the whole like Brody Lee tribute and the AEW recap of the celebration life of Brody Lee. I feel it's like more efficient, especially when it comes to the New Japan Pro Wrestling recaps as well. I think it will be more efficient to have it on Instagram live than just doing it on the podcasting format too, even though it will be on my personal Instagram page. So
Go of your comfort zone, Cindy, and do what's best for you. At the end of the day, you have to take care of your mentality. Mental health is a precious, priceless thing that should always be taken as serious as possible by everybody. So I respect all of your decisions. Wish you nothing but the best.
thank you, Noah. It really means a lot to me, especially I know I did make the announcement on my YouTube channel, on my latest update video on my YouTube channel regarding what my stance with NoDQ.com. You know, I am still part of NoDQ, but I'm no longer with the ladies at NoDQ as per decision because of, you know, being the only one that I don't watch the WWE product like I was.
You're a freelancer, and that's perfectly fine. But as far as I'm concerned, you're not with No DQ because you're a wrestling fan or a WWE fan. You're with No DQ because you're with friends. At the end of the day, Cindy, you know that Caitlin, Aaron, me, and all the whole crew, even the
Some of
ones
them.
back kind of bit, you know, they're gonna support you. We got your back.
I understand. I mean, I just feel I'm kind of like an odd woman out, but yeah, let's just say that.
I
But
mean, Cindy, I'll be honest with you. I don't watch Raw and I only watch SmackDown to hang out with friends on Zoom. I still try and keep up with the product, but more so, the only thing WWE-wise that kind of still connects with me is NXT UK because of Darlene General Walter. Besides that, you know what I am, AEW, Impact, and #1, NJPW, personal preference.
of course. Yeah, totally.
We're all fans of our own design.
Exactly. Anyway, you guys, well, that concludes the episode 21 of Into the Stratosphere for to kicking off the new year of 2021. Pretty coincidence.
I'm about to say,
Anyway.
how you pull that off?
Exactly. So before we all go, so Noah, can you go ahead and give a plug?
Sure. And also, again, all the best, and thank you for having me. People, you want to connect with me? I'm just a simple man and a lifelong fan of wrestling. So follow me on Twitter, connect with me, and Foster1916, Instagram and Foster1916, simple YouTube channel, youtube.com/C/NoFoster210 for all things wrestling. Shout out to AEW fan on Twitter. There'll be a live stream for the results, recap, simple takes, and New Year's Dash. And there'll be upcoming content regarding, of course, AEW, NJPW, and much more. And also, because I'm with No DQ, subtle WWE stuff too. So stay tuned for more on that. And as I want to close now and encourage, there are no winners, there are no losers, there are no betters in wrestling. We are just all fans. So let's not break each other down. Let's come together in what we all share a passion in our own way. And let's just make this community together and better every day. So, folks, just enjoy life and enjoy wrestling. Simple as that.
Indeed. And you guys can follow me on my personal Instagram page and on my Twitter page at simply_C_OK. That's SIMPLY_C_OK. And you guys can follow my podcast that I just launched on New Year's Day, of course. It's the Adventures in Wrestling Storytelling Edition. So make sure to follow the Adventures in Wrestling podcast on Instagram at adventure_in_wrestling_podcast. Make sure to follow the Adventures in Wrestling podcast on Spotify, Anchor, Radio Public, Breaker, Pocket Cast, and Google Podcasts, of course. And also make sure to follow the YouTube channel for the Adventures in Wrestling podcast at Adventures in Wrestling by Cindy G, of course. And also make sure to follow the Bulletcast on all social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. And also make sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel at the Bulletcast. And do not forget, make sure to follow on our all podcasting platform, which is Anchor FM, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and of course, if you want to see some early release of the first ever episode of the Bulletcast featuring Philip and Brandon, check it out on the Patreon, y'all. And also, yeah, make sure you guys stay tuned for all the updates. Make sure to hit the notification button on the Bulletcast on Instagram page, which is where we're mostly active. Facebook, I'm not too sure because I'm not into Facebook. And hit that notification button on this channel too. So anyway, you guys, with that being said, please remember, wash your hands 20 to 30 seconds, wear your face mask and face covering. We're still in a pandemic, still practice social distancing. Please stay home if you can. If not, it's all good. If you're a essential worker, mad respect. And remember, you guys, to please be kind to one another. We're all in this together. Until then, I'll see you on the next episode of Into the Stratusphere. This is your girl, Cindy G and Noah Foster. And hope you guys have a happy belated New Year. Cheers to the rest of 2021. Take care.
Have a good night, folks.